Nice.
The walk-up?
Yeah,
We kept the walk-up into the first one. I think it was funny, didn't we?
must have.
Dude, look at the screen.
It's pretty funny.
Uncle Grandma's story time.
How's it going?
Explain
everybody?
this visual to us before anything else. Tell us what's going on behind us here.
Oh, yeah, well, I came up with an idea for a piece of art, and you stick it in the internet, and it does
Skynet,
its
right?
thing.
This is what happens
Sure.
when T1000s take over.
Yeah,
They're like, yeah, we'll make you something super sick. Like who?
we'll call it Al.
Of course.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
not. It's AL.
Call it Al.
So, shout out Al, Arcana Kings guitar player, Al Morrison, Dr. Porno.
Great names.
So the picture is.
Can I just tell you what I see here real quick before we get the actual? So I'm seeing an old grandpa with a shotgun, maybe a grandma, I'm not sure, a grandma with a beard, holding a shotgun in a reverse rocking chair in front of a waterfall with some very nice trees above on a balcony.
That's almost what I wrote into the
So
command.
weird, man.
I think I wrote in old Ukrainian woman with a beard holding a gun in a rocking chair with Japanese waterfalls in the background.
I was going to say those are cherry blossom trees. That makes sense.
In the style of Dolly. So it's just like
The real piss
that's
around
pretty
is
much what it gave me.
the
It was hilarious.
rocking chair being in the wrong place. It's really throwing me off.
Yeah.
It's eerie. This
Yeah.
is like
Yeah,
this is exactly what I would imagine those new wave Terminators would do.
Totally.
Yeah, this is like this guy the guy that made this would be laughing at the T1000s.
Going up and down, coming after you.
Yeah, that's something.
Crazy. Super sweet.
It's a great example of what we're doing around here on Uncle Grandma's Story Time. He is Uncle Grandma. My name is Gary. Episode 1, we talked about the Thuper 3 shirt, or hat, sorry, it's a
Here it
hat.
is. You can see
Legit.
it. Yeah.
That was made in Banff. It was one of my many memories that we shared during the 9/11 Turbo Banff tour.
Yeah, it was
we
made
went
at
a couple of those. Yeah.
made at a store that should remain nameless because I
Yes.
don't remember the name.
And there was also more to it, I think, but we didn't acknowledge because it was silly.
Yeah,
Silly stuff.
you got your fill of a weekend there.
I didn't bring my
wasn't
hype
here.
towel in. My hype towel,
You're supposed to bring the hype towel.
it's just right here. My car is literally parked right there. I
See?
can go get it. At some point,
Possibly-
I'm going to go get it.
Possibly why we've never done those ever again because you just keep forgetting the hype towel. Come on,
It is my
Gary.
fault. Horrible tour manager Gary over here. I guess that could be my title for this trip is tour manager Gary. Hanging out with Uncle Grandma. This is his story time. The hype towel was a huge part of tour managing because I was told by Von Hattie that you can't be a hype man without a hype towel.
No.
It's impossible. So we sewed
What are you
two
gonna do,
giraffe doilies together. Yeah, you look way
And then
cool.
you just look like
I'm gonna get it.
we let some guy on stage.
Yeah.
You put the towel up there. It's like, oh, he brought that towel from the back from the little pile of towels that they usually give you when you're in a band, right?
That was pretty much it.
That's what people think.
And I'd
anyway.
also walk up with a bottle of vodka and fill the boys up. And they're like, oh, that's probably brought that from home too. And you're right, we did. That's what you do when you're tour manager, Gary.
Oh, the bar.
Yeah.
You're a legend at the
That
Rose
was
and
fun.
Crown.
It's so good.
Still to this day.
Shout out to the spaghetti. I love that lunchtime spaghetti.
It is good. I don't eat spaghetti at a restaurant often, but
Man, I'll eat
you're
it
right.
everywhere. I'll eat it out of a boot, like the kids say. I love spaghetti. But this isn't about us. The whole story is in the first episode with all of that. And it's a lot of fun, but we just want to acknowledge the Thuper Thweet hat is here. I'm going to grab the hype towel at some point, and we're going to keep rolling on
Oh
the
yeah,
train.
you can go find it, I guess.
I can. I'm going to get you started on a story, and I'm literally going to walk out, go around back, and bring
That's
it in.
what it feels like when I talk to people normally. So I
Now-
wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
As I sit here and I think about the hype towel, I think about how that was basically tour manager Gary's first trip ever out of town. I'd done a bunch of tour managing jobs for 9/11 Turbo in town, and untimely
Right.
demise. I was working merch tables, doing my thing,
right.
but never did I expand outside of town, let alone stay in a crazy band house, the weird room in the band house, the Rose and Crown, legendary stuff. Just to be a part of that, and it was so different when you're on the road because it's like all you're doing. Here it's just you're helping out a buddy, but when we're there, like I'm hauling in the gear and we're like taking care of bills and doing all like the whole 9 yards. It was so cool, and it got me thinking. Like, do you remember your first sort of gig outside of town, or like your first tour, or that sort of trip to the next level? You got any stories about something like that?
Yeah. So I think the thanks for the Lava Goat shirt, by the way.
Also from episode 1.
It's well seasoned. I must
seen
say
some shit, man.
That's like
seen some
well
things.
over 10 or 12 years old by now.
Well, you know, yeah, you were there.
Yeah,
This is you, dude.
yeah.
It's pretty
Lava
cool.
Goat, November 9th at the Black Cat
Hit it.
runway in Bitter State.
Okay, are you gonna get into this? Will I go get the hype towel?
Yeah, I guess. So really,
It's Uncle Grandma, baby.
I'm just gonna talk to whoever's there. I'm trying to think if I can remember like the first gig, like in a bar. I wasn't of age yet. It's not that weird. I think I was 15 years old, and the band that I was playing with they were all from Langham, Saskatchewan, and I was from, well, I am from Kalonze, Saskatchewan. So when they were probably 18, 19 years old, the other members of the band, and I was about 15. We got asked to play in a Plunkett bar in Plunkett, Saskatchewan. I think the place is called the Pig and Whistle or something like that. I don't know. You could tie your horse up out in front of the bar. That's all we heard. And they let underage bands go in there and play. So that would have been the first one there. And that was for a marijuana festival thing. A guy from town, I don't know, people might know him, Timothy Fraser Hampton was the one who hired us for that. That was my first out-of-town gig, so I can really, thank him for the opportunity to do that because I got addicted to it. But I would say the first out-of-town gig, nice. That it's still, you're right. That's gross.
There's probably about not a word of a lie, at least 200 Yag shots on here.
Yeah, I don't know if you can wash that out.
We tried. Yeah, like this is
so
washed.
You have
I'm
washed.
telling you, it's all Yag too, all of it. Maybe a little spaghetti. Oops, spaghetti. Who knows? But man, you get this thing going. Oh, good. And the sew job still holds up to this day too. That was done in-house at that place where we bought these tea towels. The giraffes and the safari.
That's crazy.
This thing's seen a lot of concerts, man.
Yeah.
A lot.
Wild. That's so gross.
Oh.
Because usually the hype towel's just if there's a towel around.
You wipe.
Yeah.
With hype.
You start spinning it around.
Yeah,
but
man,
this is this very specific towel. That looks cool.
Looks like a bib.
Yeah, now that I see it up there. That's cool.
I want to eat some spaghetti now.
So I'm now going into 19-year-old grandma.
Young grandma. Young Uncle Grandma.
Because
I'm excited for this.
I started playing with a band called Vagabond.
Yes.
With Mike and Dave and Jason when I was 18 years old. So it was pretty much around this time, because when we're recording here is about middle of October. So I'd say it was around then when I had officially joined the band when I was 19. So that's literally
cool.
21 years ago now.
How cool did that feel? First,
Well, it was really cool because I had already been playing with Sparky.
Yeah.
And I had the band I was talking about before. They're called Unreal.
Sick.
And then I had a band before that at home. We had several weird names we never decided on.
But this was sort of like the first, tour. Sort of like your first out of town, your first trip with a band that's going to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there were attempts at other things before that. But I remember, being 19, basically the next weekend, it would have been November 3rd or 4th after Halloween, because my birthday's on Halloween.
This is true.
Then they were like, we got a gig. It was like, wow, as soon as I'm 19, I'm going out. Let's go. And so we went to Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan to play a weekender, as they say. A nice
Love
Friday, Saturday. So
Where'd they put you up?
they put you up at the motel or wherever, because it's like a hotel bar.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's the hotel, but like they don't put you up there. They'll put you up across town or whatever.
Why don't they want you at the hotel?
Because it's not necessarily like a good working hotel. There's the bar manager lives upstairs in the old hotel rooms.
Okay.
Kind of like,
Yeah,
one
well,
of those
that's all I
bars.
need. Yeah, you
Some
explain
people do that where they take the old hotel and then they just gut it and put in living quarters and then run the bar from there. A lot of small town bars are kind of like
turning
that.
that. Yeah.
So, it was fun. There's a major senior hockey game that was happening that night. We
Shout
were
out to
told,
senior hockey.
yeah, we were told to play till like 1:00 because that's when everybody got there.
Took me a
It's
second.
like everybody
Took
gets
me a
here at
second.
about 1, so yeah, you guys might want to shut her down. Like, so why'd you hire a band?
Yeah.
Like,
Are
it
we
was
supposed
so
to be
weird.
here for the people?
Yeah, so we played 3 1-hour sets from like 9 to 1 or whatever it was. And then shut her down. And basically, as soon as we played our last note, like probably 200 people storm into this place.
How many people were in there for the show?
Like 5, 6, and then the waitresses and the
Nice.
manager.
Were they loving it though?
They're really nice. And
Well,
we
of
made
course
friends
they'd
with
be
them
nice,
because
yeah.
they're the only ones
That's-
that were there.
That's what I mean. Like,
And
it's not
so
like they're gonna tell you you're bad.
this place is just bumping it, and it goes for like an hour and a half or whatever. They shut down at 2:30, and the deal is basically everybody just goes upstairs and parties at this one of these apartments or whatever, or the apartment. I don't know who lived up there or whatever, but there was just a party up there after everything was done. So we're done loading out into our bus. So Vagabond toured for the first like year and a half that I was in the band. We toured in a 71 international school bus
Nice.
that was gutted and changed into like a band van.
Hell yeah.
So the plan was, which I'm going to get into way more detail later, but the plan was we're going to live in this thing for as long as we can be on the road. Like nobody's going to pay rent, and we're going to live in this thing and just travel around.
It's the dream. It's
Yeah,
the
so
dream.
we talked about that pretty much the whole first gig, and then get there. It's kind of a bummer not to play with anybody, but the waitresses from the bar were nice enough. They're like, "Hey, come and party with the team or whatever. We're all upstairs at this place."
Yeah.
We're like, cool. So we all go up and meet everybody up there, and it's just a packed little place. There's like a full hockey team of dudes there, and like people are nice. It's a small town. It's awesome, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but being from out of town, we weren't at the hockey game, and we got invited in by the 2 waitresses who were very nice. But we also really didn't take into consideration that they were also, you know, girlfriends of guys or ex-girlfriends of guys, younger sisters of some of these guys.
No.
We didn't take that into
You're
consideration.
not telling me that a small town bar has some issues with guys rolling on, you know, into the DMs or whatever the kids call it of the
This
waitresses?
is long before phones.
Yeah. Well,
But this is just walking into a bar.
that's what I'm saying.
Or-
Like, that's so normal. That was
Yeah.
the norm thing. Yeah.
But we're walking into this place, and we were told by them we can sell you off sale afterwards. Turns out their boss didn't let them get off sale, so they're upstairs. Introduce us to a bunch of people, and we're all kind of standing around.
Oh, no.
And some guys are playing video games. Some guys are just kind of, you know, standing there at the Pilsner talking, and like it was a good time. I've met a couple people. I think they won that night, and then there's like a couple tussles going on, and like it was a good game. And some of the guys get like trapped over in one corner. I'm trapped over in another corner, and one of the girls comes up to me and gives me a beer. I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
The
So,
best.
that's nice. And then maybe 10 minutes later, after conversations with everybody, she comes up and she gives me another beer. Like, "Where are you getting these?" She's like, "Oh, there's a case over there," or whatever. And then about 5 minutes later, a guy comes in and he looks me right in the eye. He's like,
Oh no.
"Did you come in here with them?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You better get out of here." I'm like, "Oh yeah, no problem, man.
You got it, sir."
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a problem." And I'm like, "Where are they?" He's like, "They're being dealt with right now." I'm like,
Oh, that's a
what?
weird way of saying they.
"Where?" And then I get to the door and he knocks on the bathroom door and they swings it open, and then the other three guys are pushed out of the bathroom just being like, "Get out." It was like, whoa. Turns out these girls were like stealing beers from dudes and giving them to us, and they're all sitting there at their own party being like, what are these girls doing, and who are these guys? Like, what the hell is what's
What
their
is
problem?
happening? Yeah.
So all of a sudden they all just turned on us.
Yeah. The
And
girls?
No,
The guys were already
they
turning
like
on you.
are now a barrier between us and all these guys as we're climbing down the stairs,
Sounds
running
like a
to the
movie.
bus.
Yeah, get the hell out of there.
And it's really cold out. It was like -30 or whatever.
Oh no.
And all of a sudden, both the girls run out to the bus and get in. No. And we're like, "No,
You guys are
go
the
away.
problem
You
in
have
the
your own-"
first place.
They're like, go. And all of a sudden we look, and there's this hockey team basically out on the street, and some of them are throwing bottles,
They're
some
ready
of
to
them are
finish
throwing
ya.
snowballs, some like they're coming after, and they start kicking the side of the bus. Mike's just like trying to get the thing started, and like we're taking off. We're like, what the?
Dude.
So we get back to this motel. The bus is very, inconspicuous, right? Like you can't see a white
not hiding
school
the bus.
Yeah.
Not only that, dude, the two girls are still with you?
Yeah, so they
no.
escorted us back to the they escorted us back to the motel because we didn't necessarily know where we were going, and parked near the rooms, got there, and they went home. About 5 minutes later, we start hearing bang, 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 bang.
No.
And
dude.
hearing girls yelling and a whole bunch of arguing, and we're looking out, and we look out at the bus, and there's nothing. Look to the right, look to the left. It's like, no, there's nothing.
What's going on?
And we heard it for probably about an hour. And then we heard a whole bunch of sirens. And it was like, oh, there must have been some kind of crazy argument or whatever in
Something
one of
out
the
of
other
hand.
rooms.
Yeah.
And whatever. So we wake up in the morning and we leave. Didn't think really too much of it. But we hear later on from the booking agent that got a call from the bar manager and everything. It was like wondering if we were okay. It was like, okay about what? It's like, supposedly this hockey team heard that we were at that motel and started kicking down doors because one of the older brothers, one ex-boyfriend, all this stuff, and all their boys came straight to the motel and just started kicking in random doors all over the place. And because we were basically the only people staying there in the middle of winter in Hudson Bay. And they just started beating the place down.
Why did they
trying to look for us?
Why did they stop
and never-
before they found you?
Because the cops had come
You
before.
were that close.
Oh yeah. But we didn't know. We were on the other side of the motel. And
So it was
didn't
just so
see
far
any of it.
away, yeah.
And
What would you have done if they got in?
oh, we would have been like completely destroyed. They might have,
Yeah.
basically killed us. You never know. I don't
Game
know.
over, man.
They were out for blood. Like it was
Clearly,
pretty
dude,
wild.
they followed. Like that's a long route to go just
Yeah.
to get to someone's face.
And I remember driving there in the morning. We're all sitting in the bus. It's cold and all this stuff. And Mike's just sitting there, and he turns around to me. He's like, "Welcome to the band." Like, this is insane. Absolutely nuts. And then about, I would say an hour outside of town, outside of Saskatoon,
Yeah.
we had some kind of a minor issue with the bus. So we ended up having to pull over and figure that out.
Oh
and
no. Like
freezing in there.
mechanic wise?
Yeah.
Well, God.
And
I could never
it
do
started a bunch of other issues with it, but that was the first trip. So it was like almost got killed by an entire hockey team. And then almost froze to death. And yeah, I was like 5 days into being 19. And that continued on for the next, what day is it today? October 17th. Sorry, Maggie. I'm sorry.
You're okay, bud.
October
It is the 17th right now.
2024. So yeah, until today. Things don't stop.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a great, probably, now we have to go on a tangent to end the episode, though.
Oh,
You know, because that's sort of the thing we created now.
well, I noticed
That's
this
a great start.
about the old Great West symbol.
Oh, yeah, that bad boy. Hold it
So,
up for the camera.
We used to, the old Saskatoon storm. We used to watch the storm all the time.
Storm warning.
But that old Great West symbol reminds me of some things that we used to do when we were kids. Like, do you ever collect beer bottle caps?
Oh, hell yeah.
So those were a pretty hot
cap.
commodity.
Yeah.
And
feel ya.
did you ever like poke holes in them and put them on like a thing and wear them as a necklace?
I was not a predator, no. Like from the movie Predator. That's what they do, right? The
So what did you
predators
guys
catch
do
the
with beer
brains.
bottle caps? Did you
I
just
just
like
them off.
flatten them?
No, I just show them off. They collect them like they were cards.
What we'd do is take a hammer and flatten them out.
How are they supposed to be worth anything like that?
Well,
I thought they were going to be worth like money, bro.
they were. It was $1
Just missed.
for a lucky lager.
That's tight.
Yeah,
So hold on. I interrupted. You were smashing them out?
that's what you do. You flatten them out, and then you take a nail and put a hole through it, and a little piece of rawhide,
Ooh,
like string.
beautiful. Yeah,
and
rugged.
just put a whole bunch of them in, or your special one in there.
And then
Make
you-
a necklace. I don't know why we all
Oh.
did that.
Dude, I thought you were talking about wrapping around a wiener. Like a wienerless.
Ugh.
Because if it's a necklace, it'd be a wienerless.
You could be wienerless by the end. That would be terrible.
That was a pretty good tangent.
That's how long of a tangent? How long does it need to be considered a tangent? How many tangents? Is it a method of length, or
No, I think it's end of statement or point.
a tangent could? Well, yes, something without a without an end of statement or a point.
Yes,
So I could do that forever.
that's true. Uncle Grandma's story time, though.
You got to keep it somewhat interesting.
Well, you can't. I think the thing is that, as I guess as combined each episode is going to be, there's still so much different. So
Yeah,
you just get lots of stories.
this guy really.
It's throwing me off, man. I made the bad choice of looking at it, and now I'm like scrambling. Anything? Any last words? Super 3?
Other than hopefully this is out before November 9th, 2024, Black Cat, the return of Lava Goat, the return of the Cyclone. We're playing with our really good buddies in Runway. They used to be called Shooting Guns, if you don't know. The Shooting Guns fame has, it's got its massive weight to it, but Runway is just as amazing. So come check out Runway and our good buddies. My roommate Simon's in a band called Bitter State with a guy named Mike who runs the sound at Black Cat, and another guy named Derek who plays guitar, another guy named Derek who plays drums, and our good friend Joel on guitar. Holy, got to get all those guys in here individually, especially my good friend Joel. Joel's good. Joel! You're just playing Bunnock bowling and you'd say Joel when you throw it. It's funny. Put it in there.
Support local music.